button. Hit the record button. Awesome. All right. So this is summary of database, and just a little housekeeping real quick. Put your faces on, like to see everybody I'm talking to. I'm going to jump right into it. What we're going to cover today is how to set up your database, how to manage your database, and how to run your database. And as you know, we start these at 8:30. So if you're running late, I can't help you because we want to make sure we get to this. Number one thing that we're going to talk about is basically getting your database squared away and what is involved in that. Now, before I jump into the actual mechanics of how that looks, I want to share with you all some statistics that are important. The database, for anybody that's been in business for more than a couple of years, is where 80 to 90% of their real estate business comes from. So if you're not focusing on database, you are losing great opportunities. There's some other numbers that are very relevant for database management as well. And we proved this years ago that for every 12 people in your database that are communicated to on purpose and purposefully 33 times a year, for every 12 people, you can expect 2 transactions. One is repeat, the other is a referral-based transaction. We're going to dive into those numbers in a little bit, but for our conversations, we're going to dumb them down and say 1 out of every 10. Now remember, 33 purposeful communications, some way, shape, or form, and we're going to cover all that, should tab out to, for every 12, 2 transactions. We're going to say at least 33 will be 1 out of 10. Now, building your database. This is the big thing. Everybody's like, oh my God, what is it? Well, there's an entire curriculum on this, but I'm going to summarize it for you very quickly. Somebody should be in your database if they would pass the grocery store test. That's where you're walking down the main aisle of a grocery store. You look down the aisle, you're like, oh my God, there's Bobby and Tom. I need to go say hello to them. You know them, they know you. They're in your database. They belong in your database. They can come from, we've got a memory jogger in here, which will help you. You want to build that database. Now, this will need to be scheduled if you don't already have one. Everybody's of the idea that we do this. We're like, well, what I'm going to do is I'm going to put together my database, and I currently have 3,000 people in there, and that's my database. That's not your database. That's your, well, that's your entire database. What we're going to do is we're bringing that down to our top anywhere from 30 to 200 people. And these are people that would have to pass that grocery store test where you know them and they know you. You're going to be communicating with them. Remember, if you don't want to talk to them, if you won't pick up the phone and call them and talk about them, they shouldn't be on your list because you're not going to make any effort for them. The other people in your database, the 2,000 other people, we got tons of communication that goes out to them. It's a super easy way to do it. Don't worry about it. We're going to cover them, but I'm looking for that top 100 people. Now, I use KV Core. I'm going to show you how I have mine sorted, how Jackie and I have ours sorted. Actually, I'm going to tell you about that. So what we did is we have our, the reason is I've got something pulled up that I think is going to be more relevant. But we have our database of, let's say, I think we have like 500 people that are in this database. And the truth is there's only about 70 that the two of us want to speak to. So we took that 500 and the 70 we wanted to speak to, they were all in our database. Some had emails, some had phone numbers and emails, some didn't have anything. And we took all those and we just put them all in there, and they're just lined up right there. We started at the very top and we went select, skip, select. And we came up with 70 people plus or minus in our database. And then we went into KV Core, and there you could say add a hashtag, and we added a hashtag, and the hashtag was hashtag COI, Center of Influence. Okay, this is the most important part. So we took our big database of 100, 500 or 1,000 or 2,000, and we picked the people we actually knew that would pass the grocery store test that we didn't run away from because we forgot their names. These were friends of ours. And all of those people were called centers of influence, hashtag COI. You may use Sphere, whatever you want is fine, but that's the big group of everybody. And then we searched in our database by that hashtag, and it pulled up those 70 people. So when we had those 70 people on a list, we started at the very top, and the first person, this is important, we gave them a hashtag of 01COI. 01COI. That's Center of Influence, 01COI. Click the next button in the top right-hand corner of KV Core. 02COI was the next one. Went all the way through till we got to 28, which is how many days are in every single month. And then we started over at 1 again. And we kept going down through 28. We started over at 1 again. If you've got 200 people in your database, you're going to have to go through about 7 evolutions of 1 through 28s. And it'll take you around 30 minutes to do all of them. Now, they're all you can pull up all of them just by going hashtag COI, and now boom, for us, all 70 show up. Or you can pull up hashtag 17 COI, which is today's date, and boom, 4 or 5 people show up. Those are your bite-sized pieces for what we're going to be doing. 2 different things: mass communication, excuse me, as well as in-depth communication. And remember our numbers of 33 transactions, 33 people, or 33 communications with somebody in your database that you know that you're having conversations with and sending things to. For those, for every 12 people that you communicate 33 times, you can expect 2 transactions. Remember, we're going with 1. So for our analysis, we're going to say everybody out there is building towards 100 people in their database. That is 10 closed transactions if you manage this properly year in, year out. And it takes a little while to season. I get that. But folks, this is where your long-term business is. This is where the listings live. The people that know you, that trust you, and know that you care about them. We're going to cover that in conversations. Okay, so I've covered the setting up your database, and I want to show you guys this. Let's see if I have it. I do. I'm going to drop this in the link. Here is the syllabus I'm about to share. It will also be in the YouTube, attached to the YouTube video. So when we're done with this, my partner Joe is going to be putting this up. If I could find the chats real quick. Boy, I'm losing my mind today. Okay, so the syllabus is in that chat. It will definitely be in the YouTube video, in the comments of the YouTube video. So Joe, I'll leave that up to you. We have already made the assumption. We've gone through that part. We've got our database organized. We've got everybody in our database. Then we've got our small group of 100 people that are our centers of influence. And then we've broken those 100 people down into bite-sized pieces by 1 through 28 hashtags. So they're hashtag 1, 2, 3. And remember, this is important: 0102, hashtag 0102, hashtag 03 COI. Those are the days of the month, and that's your responsibility. Now, I'll get to what those calls look like in a couple minutes when we really dive into it. You have to organize them this way because we've done this so long, so often, that if you say, I'm going to start an A, I'm going to get through everybody, it's not going to happen. I'll tell you a little secret. Let's say you have 100 people in your database, and if you're going to call or you're going to call each person's number down 1 through 28, you divide it by 28. That means that you have to have a conversation with 3.5 people or 3 or 4 people a day. Now, this is the most important part about database and when you're making these phone calls. Your calls are singular in purpose. There's nothing to do with real estate. You haven't earned the right. You are simply making a phone call saying, hey, it's me. I missed you. How are you? What's going on? Okay. It is not real estate related. It's all about them. What I encourage everybody to do let's get to the reconnect call right away. A lot of you are like, God, I haven't spoken to them in forever. Oh, this is going to be awkward. It's not. This is the reconnect call, or a variation that you prefer to use, and it's completely up to you because it has to be authentic. But it would go something like this. Chris, I'm going to use you just because you're top of screen for me. Thanks for having your camera on, brother. I appreciate it. For everybody that doesn't have your camera on, Chris and April are my 2 favorites. And Tony, you're always a rock star. So God bless you, man. All right. So here's the reconnect call. And I'm going to use Chris as my example. Hey, Chris, it's George. Would you unmute your mic for me, Chris? If you don't mind, you and I are going to chat. I think you're good.
Sure, go ahead.
Awesome. Hey, Chris, it's George Philbeck. How are you, sir?
Man, I'm great. Long time to hear from you.
Yeah. Well, that's the reason for the call, Chris. Or yes, George, how are you? Because he knows I'm a real estate agent. He may be a little bit off-putting at this point. And I said, Chris, your name popped up on my phone yesterday, and then it popped up again today. I'm going to take that as a sign from God. And the bottom line is, I owe you an apology. We met a couple years ago, and I just wasn't really good at keeping in touch. The world got real busy. By the way, I do follow you on social media. I saw that you and your significant other went to Italy a couple of months ago, and I definitely want to hear more about it. But really, the reason for the call, I needed to apologize. I let the world get in the way, and you and I were becoming good friends, and I kind of dropped the ball. And I'm sorry, man. I really am. I didn't stop drinking. This isn't like the the 9th step. I needed to apologize to you. Now, Chris, in doing something like that, if you got a call from somebody that fit that, you're probably going to, I'm guessing, you tell me, if you watch Talladega Nights when Ricky Bobby went up and apologized to Ricky Bobby or Cal sitting there going, I don't know what you're doing. You may be trying to crook me or something, because that's just a little too vulnerable. And so it could be a little standoffish on that first call. I mean, you get how that might feel, right? Because you haven't heard from me for a
Absolutely.
while.
Absolutely.
Here's what happens, and I know because this was actually done to me. I didn't think this up. I R&D'd it. I ripped it off and duplicated this. Here's what happens. You end up telling your significant other, I just got the coolest call in the world. And it becomes a very, because I'm not asking for anything. I'm not soliciting. You can ask me and they will. Oh my God, how's the real estate market? And I'm going to say that if he said that, I would go like this. I say, hey, Chris, this is actually a personal call. I'll be back in the office in about an hour and putting on my real estate hat. If you have a real estate question, I can call you then. Do you? And you're probably going to say, no, I was just checking.
Yeah. No, just checking.
Well, that's great. Yeah, this is really just a personal call this time, Chris. I appreciate that, though. I felt compelled to, whatever my apology for letting the friendship fall apart, slide away, not keep in touch, let the world the world got in the way of what was really important, and that's people. And I apologize. So I'm being authentically genuine. I'm coming forth where there's nothing that Chris needs to do in this call except receive that with or without a little bit of grace to him, and he was very gracious. And it doesn't matter how that plays out. That's the reconnect. You can do that with any person you know that they know you, and they have to know you. All right. Because if you don't know them, you're not going to be calling them anyway. We know it. Let's own it. These are people you like. They pass the grocery store test. Chris, thank you very much. I appreciate your help with that.
You're so welcome anytime.
All right. Now, here's what's going to happen a month down the road. I'll call Chris up again. You don't have to unmute for this one, Chris, but I'm calling him up again. Chris, it's good to see you, man. Listen, you guys, Italy last time. I got good notes in KV Core, by the way, because every time I have a phone call, I'll show you how to do that. I keep good notes of this. So we're literally a month in. He went to Italy, and he and his wife just went over to, well, they went to Talladega, watch the races, whatever it was. I saw it on some social media platform, whatever I decided to do. So I'm like, oh my God, you were at Talladega last month. How was that? Now, Chris has already 99 times out of 100 has already said, that was really cool after we got off the call. It's like, oh, what a nice call I got. Now he's getting another one. He's a little bit warmer, a little more open to the conversation. Now, he's also got a couple other things, and all of a sudden I start popping up, but I'm not talking real estate. And I'm actually going to deflect real estate as well. Meaning, if he says, how's the market? I said, well, again, I'm driving or I'm walking the dog, whatever the case may be. I'm having a conversation with a friend. So I'll be back in the office. I'll call you back, and I could send you some information on it. But this is just I just wanted to catch up, and I saw you went to Talladega. I'm going to keep it friendly, personal relationship. Nobody will work with you if they don't trust you. Nobody trusts a salesperson. They trust a friend. They trust an ally, a partner, somebody who is not just me, 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 me. We're only going to talk. I'm picking on you, Chris. I'm only going to talk about Chris and his significant other and their trips and what they're doing and where they're going and what's important to Chris. Because Chris is my focus. If I'm authentically a good friend, I'm going to focus on him, and I'm not having a real estate conversation. The truth of the matter is, I haven't earned it with Chris. Okay, that's how the phone calls work. If you're just logging in, you need to do this. You need to start at the beginning. You need to organize your database. There is, and I'll share this with y'all, there is a link either it's in the chat right now. And if you were late, you're going to have to go to YouTube to get it. This will be posted to the GPS Global Partners. This summary is right here. Don't worry about this link. This is how to set up your database. There is a template for uploading it and a memory jogger so you can pull more people in. Very, very helpful for you. We don't need the chat on there. We'll get that moved out of the way. We covered the monthly calls, but I want you to watch this for me real quick. This is a quick video on how that works on your phone. Now, this is my phone, and this is my KV Core in the phone. Y'all pay attention to this because it's important. Sorry, I watch things at way too fast, so I expedite my time. Let's try that again. So I'm in my KV Core on the bottom section, right down here. This is right down here at the bottom. The contacts. Click on contacts.
Can you turn the volume up on that?
Numbers. Let's go hashtag. Can you not hear it?
Just
nope. Okay. That's my Sharon. Thank you very much for that. Let's try it one more time, real quick.
So I'm in my KV core on the bottom section, right down here. Let's see, right down here at the bottom. In the contacts.
There you go.
I click on contacts.
Good.
Go to my hashtags.
It's
Can you
still
hear
the
it?
same.
First, let's go hashtag.
What the heck is going on with this? All right, well, I'll just tell you what happens. So if y'all can't hear this, and it's what I'm hearing, I'll do it for you. So at the bottom of this, down at the very bottom of that page, you'll see where it says contacts. So I click on contacts, and I'm going to go up to the top. I'm going to type in hashtag. In this case, I'm putting in, got to see it. We're going to go hashtag 12 COI. Okay. Now, this is all the people that are my 12 COIs, and I have Lori Lucente, who's the person I'm going to be calling. Amy's in there. Jay Moss is in there. I have different breakdowns of why I have them set up by hashtag 0 or 12 COI or hashtag 12 recruit or whatever it needs, or families in there. But Brandon Little, somebody I'm going to be calling. Now, once I'm done, at the bottom of the, after I'm done with it, at the bottom, there's a little plus sign. See that plus sign on the bottom right down here? That plus sign, I can actually put in notes. As you'll see about halfway down, it says that's where the notes are. I plug in those notes. All of a sudden, I keep good contact notes on what we talked about. Chris, when I was talking about you, I keep contact notes about what we're talking about, you and I. Now, I'm not sure why that one didn't share sound, but at least we got through it. All right, so let's keep going on that one. What I'm going to challenge everybody to do is I want you all to make monthly phone calls. That means every day, the 1st or the 28th, I want you to call, if you have 100 people, 3.5 people, and I want you to have a conversation about them. I want you to talk about what's important to them, and I want you to not have a real estate related conversation. After about 3 or 4 months, you can start having real estate related conversations, and I have some topics that I'll cover for you at the end of what those can look like and how you can incorporate them. Now, this does not mean that you can't send things or be real estate engaged in other forms, but the conversations are this. Now, I get this question all the time. I'm going through and I make a phone call and they don't answer. Well, of course they don't answer. They don't want to talk because nobody does anymore, and that's the case. So I wait until the afternoon because I'm going to communicate with these, and then I call them and I get their voicemail. And I leave them a voicemail on their answering machine. Yeah, I said answering machine on purpose. I'm dating myself. So I left them a voicemail on my answering machine, and I send them a text. In this case, it'd be, hey, Chris, just left you a voicemail. Now, most every one of us, if we had a voicemail left, would say, all right, I got to open that voicemail up. So they open up that voicemail. You're going to have that same conversation. Be Chris, hey, your phone number popped up on my phone yesterday, popped up again today. I owe you an apology, man. I let the world get in the way, and I shouldn't have. I really enjoyed our conversations, and I've been so busy the last couple of months, a year or so, and I haven't kept in touch, and I just wanted to apologize. I noticed you and your wife went to Italy a couple of months ago. Love to hear about that. I'm thinking about doing that with mine, and it just looked to be amazing. Give me a shout back if you get a chance. Either way, I felt I owed you an apology. That's the voicemail. That's at the end of the day, they don't pick up after the second try. Leave a voicemail and send a text that says, hey, Chris, I just left you a voicemail. People will be compelled to it. You start off with, I owe you an apology. Okay, now you have my undivided attention. I'll listen to the voicemail because everybody likes to be apologized to. Jackie, if you're on this call, it's my wife. I like it too. No, I'm kidding. She's really good at that. All right. I want you guys to notice something as we go through this, because the rest of this is going to move a little bit quicker. And now we'll have audio on all of it. You notice that we have 12 right here. That's the phone calls. And that, by the way, this is the video I just played. The link is right here. Monthly update emails. Okay. It's a big deal. The very first thing you're going to need to consider when you're doing your monthly update emails is where are you getting the information, or excuse me, your monthly update emails. I apologize. Stop the share on this. My monthly update email. Now I have in there, there's it's got 3 bullet points. I'm going to showcase this to you as well. How to note, do you put on the notes how you know the person? Olga, do it. Yes, absolutely. Olga said, do you put a note on how you know the person? Put a ton of notes in your notes inside your CRM. In my case, it's KV Core. Put a ton of notes. What'd you talk about? Where you going? What'd you say? What are you going to do? You have to keep good records with people because they're worth it. It makes sense. Okay. Now listen, when we're doing our monthly emails, It is a 30 to 60 to 90-second video clip that you can shoot using your phone and upload to your YouTube channel. And I will show you in a couple seconds how you can put that into KV Core. Here's the thing. It is exactly the same template every single month. All you're doing is changing the email, or excuse me, changing the video out. And it's an update about what's going on. You're changing the video out and you're changing the 3 bullet points. The summary is the same. And it goes like this. I'm not going to show it to you because I'll just waste your time. I just wanted to update you on what's going on in our world. I hope you're having a great day. All our best, Jackie and George. And then it shows in the template, it's got 3, and I'll show you. Actually, let's just show it to you right now. Okay. This should have sound. Go to this one, go to marketing, smart campaigns, templates, add template, good email template, template name, master email, subject we'll get to in a minute, advanced editor. First thing we'll do is go to content. We'll put a divider in here. Now you can edit the divider by clicking on it, making it solid, bigger, heavier, different colors. I don't like this color, so I'm going to go with that to separate it. And then I'll go back to content. Then I'm going to go to rows. This is the important part. I'm going to drag this. I'll drop it right below it. Back to content. Image on one side. I know this is really fast, and it's like, oh my God, what are they doing? I can't keep track. That's why this video is in there. You can watch it again and again and again and again. I wanted to make sure you get that, okay? Real important that you know that this is available for you. It's going to be in the chat. It'll be be a part of the comments of the YouTube video that is on gpsglobalpartners.com, our Facebook group. Excuse me, our Facebook group will have it as well. So if you're not a member of that, put your email in the chat, and we'll make sure that we say, or Joe, do me a favor, put in the link for the social media group, Facebook group. Side, text on the other side. What's the text going to be? I'm going to go to merge codes. I'll scroll down to agent signature. That'll populate the signature. Photos, click on upload. If you'd like to upload them, you can upload a photo here. Be careful of file size. There's a certain size that's big. And I'll click on this one for my insert. And then I'm going to add template. Subject. Master email. Click on add template. Now this template is ready to go. So whenever I'm going in here and I want to do it, I'm in the templates section. I can type in master email. See if I search that properly. And in doing so, once that pops up, I'm going to click on that, and I'm going to come over here and I'm going to click clone. Now, once I clone it, I'm going to call this template, not master, but I'm going to call it 04/17/2024 email to database. Now, the date is important. And once I do that, I can build on top of it. And how I'll do that is I'll add a row above this divider line. This is called the below the line. This section down here. What you're looking at right now is my master email template, and every email gets built upon it. And it has my name, my signature, my email signature, which comes from in the upper corner. You'll see where it says the name of your KV Core account. If you click on that, it'll open up your signature file. I'm not going to walk you through how to do that. That's pretty basic stuff. This is my standard email template. Mine's actually much bigger. I have a lot of links that I put in here as well, but I wanted you to know how I built it. And then I build on top of it, which is called above the line up here. Changes. This is where my content would go. So I've got my divider there, and let's say I want to do a video in one of these underneath some text. So on that for content, I will plug in a YouTube video, which is right here. Oh, I put that up on top, but it works the same way. You type in your YouTube URL. I can drop content from the options I have, a divider button. You'll have to play around with these. Real easy to do. Now, that's a standard email template that can be used for our monthly video updates where I drop a YouTube and I put my bullet points. That's where I put the thing in the wrong place. And then I have the greetings. Hey, it's George and Jackie. Just wanted to give you an update of what we're doing. Now, I send that out to everybody in my database once a month. Now, here's the cool part. Pay attention to this. It's important. When we were going to Italy a while ago, we had done this and we're pretty regular on it at this point. I have to own that we're not doing as great a job as we used to. And we make our calls and we do everything. We were going to Italy. And one of the things we said, we're going to Italy. And we didn't say it. The bullet point said going to Italy, trip to Italy, said back to school, and hurricane season's not over. I think that was the 3 things that we used as our bullet points. And we talked about those. And we said, hey, listen, we're going to Italy. If you have any in the video, we're like, if you're going to Italy and you have some recommendations, let us know, reply back. 36 people, I think it was, or a high level of people, it was almost 45% of the people replied back to us with suggestions on where to go, which means they had to open it. That's the only way I could tell if they opened it by a reply back. That's an amazing amount, but here's why. We were interested in them for months on end, and they became interested in us because we talked about them exclusively, Database 101, They were interested when they saw an email that said an update from Jackie and George. Oh my God. They're awesome. I love them. They're friends of mine. We're good friends. I'd love to see what they have to say. And it's a fun video. And it's 60 seconds, maximum 90 seconds. It can be 30 seconds. And it's usually 3 bullet points. Okay. Back to what we were talking about earlier. Y'all remember me having this conversation with you. We're saying in our database, excuse me, we're calling everybody, and that's going to be 12 phone calls. We're doing our monthly email updates. That's every single month. And that's going to be 12 more. And we're also going to send out a postcard for them. And the postcard is an evidence of success postcard. Now, you can use whatever postcard sender, mailer company you want. You're welcome to it. Right in here is a copy of the Canva postcard template that you can use. Make your own. I'll pull it over for you. It looks just like this. All you do is click on things. You could change anything out, make it however you want. It's completely up to you. I just wanted to give you a template to work with. There's the front and the back to this. It's a full template for you. That's the monthly postcards. Those, very simple. You go to your centers of influence, you go to your hashtag COI, and in our world, we said we're going to have 100 people, and then you select all of them, and you go up there, and there's a drop down that says more in KV Core and in every database, and it's export contacts. It'll export their first name, their last name, their phone number, their email, and a bunch of other information. All you need is their address. Oh, I don't have it. Okay. So part of that first month of calls is looking up their address. And if you don't have their address, you say this exactly. In this case, I'm married. Listen, Chris, Jackie and I are having a competition. Usually the second phone call, I would say this. I wouldn't say it the first. I may look it up because I'm a realtor. I can look it up and on their tax records and find out where they're living. If not, I have to be a little more in relationship. And I'm going to say, hey, listen, Chris, Jackie and I are having a competition. And I told her I was going to blow her out of the water. I need your home address. I am sending out holiday cards. You're getting one. You don't owe me one in return, but give me your home address. They will always give you their home address. I don't have his email address. Hey, Chris, came across something that I thought was pretty cool. I wanted to shoot it over to you. I try and curate some information that's kind of relevant. What's your best email address? Give me your opinion on what I'm going to shoot over to you, okay? Why wouldn't he? We're already a couple months in or a month in. We've become friends again. We've reconnected. He's going to share that information as well. All right, so we've got our phone calls, 12 people. We've got our monthly email updates, 12 people. We've got our postcards that we send, or excuse me, 12 contacts per year. So that's 12, 12, and then 12 with our contacts for our monthly postcards that are being sent out to them. That's 36 touches per year. Remember the number we said 33? That was the magic number where for every 12, you'd get 2, or in our case, for every 10 people that you communicate 33 times, you'll get 1 closing, either referral or repeat business. Well, let's plus that up a little bit. If you haven't used it yet, you definitely need to consider Google Alerts. Now, I've used this conversation many times, but I'm going to share the screen because this is critical. This is a must-do. I would encourage everybody here to their entire database. It's very easy to do. You schedule an automatic email. KV Core can do that. You can Google it or YouTube it and say, how do I do a scheduled email in KV Core? Pop up and show you right away. You're going to use that same template that has your signature on the bottom, the same format. And that format now is, remember how we had video, we had their bullet points. Now it's going to be video and bullet points, exactly the same. The first top paragraph was normally the, hey, it's Jackie and George, just wanted to give you an update. Now it's going to be a summary of an article, and you can drop in a button, which would be a link to the article. I am going to show you how to do that. But first, let's go to Google Share or Google Alerts, because this is absolutely gold. This is my Google Alerts. It's google.com/alerts. These are the things I'm interested in. Orlando new developments, real estate agent growth, real estate breaking news, real estate U.S. housing market. Because of the world we're in, I'm also very interested in U.S. inflation. Folks, every single morning I get an alert that comes over from this. I haven't looked at what today's is going to be. Let's take a look. Google Alerts right here. Now, this is hard to read, so I'm not going to bore you with it, but I'll go through it. Real estate agent survey reflects continued optimism ahead of industry changes. Real estate news. Rents have finally stopped skyrocketing. Okay, maybe that's relevant. Social media, Orlando developments. I'm not going to do that because that's very subjective to me. economy. Raises growth forecast, caution on rate cuts. Okay, Fed chair says there has been a lack of further progress. That's relevant. Maybe my article that I'm going to do is, and remember, I've got a whole week of these, but maybe my article is on, hey, the rates look like they're not going. If you are buying, though, I would strongly encourage you to do a 2-1 buy down. I can explain how that works, but this article kind of supports the idea. And then in the bullet points for if I was doing that one, I'd say buy down the rate, save money. Seller can pay that cost. You get the best rate and refinance to your option. Those are my bullet points next to the video I want them to watch. And on the top, as I said, that first bar, and again, I'm going to show you exactly how that sets up. Actually, let's do that right now. So this is that first block. I went to the rows, and on the top row, I used that block. That's my subject. This is a split screen. I put an image here and my video down here. It's completely up to you. This image, if you're not sending, sorry, I made a mistake on this. I'm not sending a video. I'm having an image that would do this. I went to Gemini, which is Bard, which is ChatGPT, and I said, create an image of a Florida home that was offered for sale. It gave me this image, and I put this in there because people see images and they stop. People read something by reading the subject line, which you can't see because actually you can. And this is market update with article. The March real estate monthly market update. You definitely want to see what's happening. Okay. So here's my content. And what I did is I just dragged a row and dropped it in. And then I added my content. In this case, I'll just drop in an image because I'm not going to save this. And I can browse for the image. I had that created from AI, and then I uploaded that image and I created it. Here's my bullet points with a little bit of summary. And what I would do down here, and I'm showing the wrong one, but you get the idea, is I would put a button right here. And in that button, I love this article, a lack of luster. So I'm going to hold that, Control C. I'll go right back to KB Core. Now that button is actually a live link to that article. And that's where it says monthly market update. I would change that to there's an article down below. That's your email template. Once a week, send it out to everybody, all 2,000 people in your database. Now that's going to go out, let's say 40 times a year. Remember, we already had 36 from the phone calls, the text or phone calls, the emails, the update emails, and of course, our monthly postcards, our evidence of success, which, by the way, if you use that template, there's no price on that postcard. There is no address on that postcard. All it says is we sold a home. And here's a little trick. Because of the broker rules that I have in my state, check in your state, I'm able to use any home from anybody in my brokerage. Of course, I would ask one of my partners. I'm a partner of yours. Say, hey, do you mind if I use this? It's just going out to my database, just showing that we sold homes. The actual text on that postcard says we sold a home. It is 100% accurate because I am an agent for a brokerage. They only recognize a brokerage, so we works with all of us. You could borrow one of my homes, and the we is an appropriate statement. It is not, you're not breaking the laws, you're not breaking the rules. Now, I'm not marketing that home. I'm simply saying that we sold a home, meaning EXP sold a property. You can do that. I'm sending it to my database, and once a month, they'll go through the postcard or the mail. They'll stand over the garbage, and they're going to go trash, trash, bill. Oh, look, Jackie and George sold another home. That's cool. Trash. Chris and his significant other have in their mind that Jackie and George sell homes. Now, they're going to see social media as well, and they're going to get a weekly email that comes out that's a curated what's going on in the world right now, buyer side, seller side, real estate side, market side. And it shows that I'm an expert. Pay attention to this. It shows that I'm an expert in the area, that I know what I'm talking about. Now, if you want to get high tech, one is seller, one is buyer, and you send out 2 emails. You got all the information you need from Google Alerts. Tons of valuable information. You could even make a video saying, hey, this is amazing, and put a video in there because you can create a template. Maybe your emails have a video communication as well as a link to an article, as well as an image, as well as the bullet points, and you've plussed it and made it even better. That creates relationships. People read subject, bullet points, images, close. And then if they like it, they read the article. They did that with heat tracking to see where their eyes go. And that's how it goes. Subject has to catch their attention. In this case, you definitely want to see what's happening. Okay, that's a pretty good hook. Not great, but it gets me to say I'm interested. It's the March real estate monthly market update. That may be relevant to me. And then there's an image, there's bullet point, prices increase. I'll show you this. Okay, hard to see. Let's see if I can make it bigger for us. No, I can't. Unfortunately, I can't. I'm sorry. So it says home prices increase, interest rates increase. There's emojis in there. Number of homes on the market increase. Forecast for rate drop extends out. Okay, that's what they're going to read. That's what they're going to take away first. They'll look at the subject line of this email, month market update. They're going to go down. They're going to read this. They'll look at the image, says for sale, relevant. They'll read through all of this, and then they may click on the button. But the truth of the matter is, I don't care if they click on it. I care that they open it and see it's from me, and I'm an expert. Now, you're sending this to 2,000 people in your big database every week. Maybe you're really kind of cutting edge and you say, I'm going to send one just to the buyers and one just to the sellers, because almost always we have them broken down to their buyer interest or seller interest. And you may have 2 different messages. You may have 3. Your email template, which we've already built, works for all of them. This is 40 additional touches. And with Chris, all I had to do is say, hey, Chris, I've got something I want to send over that's of value to you. And I got his email from me. And then I have something that was valuable that I would send him, basically curated. So this is kind of interesting. I just wanted to share with you. I share this with my friends on a regular basis. I like to keep them abreast of what's happening in the market, just because they always have friends and family that need to know. And that way they're the experts. See what I just did? I volunteered that we can share this with other people, and he should share it. He's an expert. He can refer a great real estate agent. So now every week they're getting reminded very quietly that I'm a real estate expert. All right. Currently, we have 12 phone calls, 12 monthly email updates, 12 monthly postcards, 40 weekly emails. When you talk to somebody, if I'm talking to Chris, I'm going to comment, or I'm going to like, or I'm going to send him a message, or I'm going to send him a handwritten note at least once a year. I'm also going to pay attention to his birthday on social media. I'm not going to cover that today, but you can find out by going to events on Facebook. And the events will say birthdays, and you can look at that, and then you can literally go in, and then you send a video message. Nobody here has gotten one. I don't think Crystal may have, but the video message would be just like this. I'm going to use Bob Bretz because he's on the call. I would press record on this, and I've done this before. Bob, your birthday's coming up. I'm going to miss it. I always do. I'm always a day late, so I'm going to be a day early this time. Happy birthday, brother. I love you. I hope you have an amazing day. Send. Now, that's going to show up in Facebook Messenger as a video email from me. I'll know he opened it. You'd be amazed at the results. But let's say we're not that good. But we do send out a postcard, or excuse me, we do send out a handwritten note to somebody once a year. We send out a Christmas card once a year, we hope, or holiday card of some type or another. Or on March 18th is National Goof Off Day. Go to Unusual Calendars, and they'll tell you, and maybe you have a picture of all 4 of your children sitting there that you send it out on the 8th, and it says something to the effect of, the National Goof Off Day is March 18th. My children have already gotten a head start. Take the day off. You have my permission. Goof off yourself. Have a great day. All I'm doing is creating a deeper relationship. Okay. She's going to hate that I do this, but I'm going to do it anyway. Some of you all don't know, my wife used to be journalist. She was a journalist and was the anchor on a couple of news stations here locally, and again in Miami as well. And she's phenomenally talented in front of the camera. Lucky me. But people would come up to her and they're like, I just love you. You're amazing. Because she's present every day of the week, 5 days a week, they'd be there and they'd watch her. They felt that there was a relationship. They felt that they knew her and there was a connection there. We're doing the same thing with this connection. We're doing it by sending out that weekly email update that's relevant information. They don't have to look at it. Sending out a postcard that says we sold homes. They don't have to look at it. They can throw it out. That's totally cool. When they're ready and it's in their radar, they will look at it. We're sending out, we're calling them, and we're not talking about real estate. Now, I want to talk about one more thing. By the way, You remember 33 people, if you, or 33 contacts over the course of a year, what is laid out for you in this, Joe, if you're still on, and I don't think he is, I will drop that link again, if I can. This is the, hold on, got to change this so it goes to everybody. This is the syllabus that I'm using, and all the hot links are in there. It's yours. You can look at it, do whatever you want. Again, it will be in the chat or in the description of the YouTube video. It will also be in the description on GPS Global Partners Facebook page, which is a public page. Jump in there. That's 91 contacts. The time invested is anywhere from 30 to 45 minutes a day, 28 days a month. And if you take weekends off, that's cool. You may have to spend an hour to an hour and 20 minutes calling people and literally making their day better by letting them know that they're important and listening to what's going on and asking them questions. Okay, Karen Leday, would you do me a favor and unmute? I want to do a little role play. This is so important. This is the conversations. And before I do that, I'll give Karen a couple seconds to do this. There are 3 real estate questions that you should be asking when you create a relationship. And they are, in this case, and I'm not going to ask Karen, you don't have to respond to this one. Karen, are you in your dream home? I just want to know, because if I run across it, I want to make sure that I know what your dream home looks like. Are you currently living in your dream home? I am. Oh, it's terrific. No, I'm not. Tell me about your dream home. What is it? Just in case. Have a field day and then listen to what she says and ask her questions. And I'll show you how the questions go in just a second. The other one is, do you have retirement already set up? Or if I ran across something that made really good sense, it would cash flow, would you be interested in hearing about it? Okay. The next one, I have the most amazing vendors, period. If you need an electrician, a painter, a plumber, all right, I don't have a plumber. Nobody has a good plumber, but I have an electrician, a painter, a landscaper, lighting, anything you need. I have great vendors. You and your friends, if you need somebody, I vetted them out. You let me know. I have you covered. I just wanted to throw that out there for you. Call me if you have any questions. That's what I do. I have to have great people. So I'm coming from contribution, or I'm inquiring about what's important to them. Now watch this. This is Karen and I on a regular phone call, and it's going to take a couple seconds, but you get, Karen, your granddaughter is so cute. Oh my God. Tell me what is going on.
Well, I got a picture yesterday of her eating orzo for the first time. It was so cute.
Orzo. Orzo?
Orzo, yes. With
Wow.
smashed peas and carrots. It was, I know. I'm one of those crazy
Orzo,
grandmas.
smashed peas and carrots. Oh, so cute. So cute. What else is going on with how old is the baby?
She's 8 months old. And I just want to see her every day, but they're in Tampa, so putting a lot of
When are
miles
you
on my
seeing her
cars.
next? Yeah.
Maybe Saturday.
Oh my God, Saturday. That'll be awesome. What does she like to do anything? Can you play with her yet? Or is she just, you just kind of stare and look at her?
Still staring and looking at her a lot. She's starting to stand and pull herself up and babble and, all the things that, are boring to you, but it's everything to me.
Actually, it's not. I miss that age dramatically. If you get next time you're over there, if you get a picture of her as she's taking her first steps, please share that with me, would you?
Oh, I will. Thank you. Yeah, it's amazing. Yeah, kids are wonderful.
How's your daughter doing? Good.
But grandkids are better.
Thank you very much. I appreciate that, Karen. So what I'm doing is, she said orzo. She said she's eating orzo with peas and carrots. Orzo, peas and carrots. If you say the last couple of words, they'll continue to talk about what they're talking about. And the idea is it's going to be a conversation about Karen and what's going on in her world. And I know what's going on in her world from social media. That's the phone call conversations. And that's where the relationships come from. We've done this before. I want to challenge you guys to do this. It won't work for me because she's on the call. Is with your significant other, somebody that's important, a child, a friend, whatever, talk only about them. Listen 4 times more than you talk and ask more questions. Oh my God, 8 months old. That's so amazing. I want to see pictures. Oh yeah. Okay. What is she walking yet? No, she's not. So I'm going to get engaged with that because I know it's important to Karen and I want Karen to know that I care. That's the basis for relationships. And this gives you a vehicle to showcase 91 times that you care, that you're a professional, It is completely unoffensive in doing so, and it will work. It does work. This is database. Now, there's a question that always comes up, and I want to share it with you on this. There it is. Okay, let me share this with you. On this template, if you decide you want to go and really just go full on in this, I would encourage you to get the template. Do not email me and say, hey, can you share it with me? No, I'm sorry, not a secretary. But you can go to the Facebook group, GPS Global Partners, and you can grab it. So in this template, at the bottom of this template, you're going to see a thing that says apply plan. And just helping you out, you can scroll down. There's a lot of other good information in here. Day one, it's exactly what to do when you're putting somebody new into your database. Day one, day two, day 7, day 10, day 14, day 21. That's what you're going to do. This is a follow-up for it, but y'all get that. If you're adding a new person, and you should say, I want to add one person a week. That's 50 more people a year. If you really want to build your database, add 2 people a week. What do I do when I add them? Follow this. But then what do I do? Remember, they're already part of the system. They have a hashtag for their specific day. They have that first hashtag we gave them, which is I'm bringing them in. The first thing I'm going to do is a hashtag COI. So now they're part of my smaller group of the people I really care about. And I'm going to give them a hashtag for the day I added them. In this case, it'd be hashtag 17 COI. So I know every 17th I'm going to call them. By the way, when you have somebody that says, oh, you know what? I'm actually going to be selling my home in the next couple of weeks or in the next couple of months, or I want to buy something in the next couple of months, or my cousin wants to buy something. It's going in their notes, but I'm going to give them another hashtag. So I call them twice a month. So I'll give them a hashtag 17. I'm also going to give them a hashtag of 03 COI so that I call them every 2 weeks because I want to stay in touch with somebody who's hot. Now, of course, they're going to be in my CRM as hot, but this is where I manage my phone calls. This is where my mind mapping is. This is what allows me to be 100% engaged with the #1 lead generation source, period, for real estate agents that are not spending thousands of dollars on marketing. These are people you know, and that summary will show you how to add these people, what to do, the call, the text, the everything you need to bring them into your fold. Folks, this is Database 101. I've spoken very quickly, but everything you need is in a YouTube video that you can copy and watch again and implement at your pace. You definitely need to get this syllabus that has more in-depth explanation and follow it step by step and put it into play. It will take you about an hour a day, almost at a maximum, and an hour a month. Once you get the template set up, the email template that goes out is easy. The postcard template, you're changing 2 things. #1, you're changing the photo of the house. #2, you're changing the banner and what the banner says. Set a record, unbelievable house, buyer's ecstatic, seller over the moon, whatever it is, it doesn't matter. It's simply your face in front of them for 3 seconds. For 100 people, the postcard expense is 72 cents. 72 times 100 times 12. We're looking at an annual budget for this of $864 delivered. Everything. 91 contacts per. It'll cost you an hour a day at the most. While you're driving, while you're going to get coffee, have a conversation with a friend and don't talk about you. Talk about them because they're important. I end every call, and I'm not ending the call, but I end every call with call somebody, tell them that you love them, that they're important, that they actually matter. That is Database 101. It's also Marriage 101, family, friend, whatever. Let them know that they're important. You may save somebody's life. You're definitely going to make a difference, and I promise you, it'll make their day better. And here's a little secret. It's going to make your day better as well. So your job is to block off in your schedule 1 hour a month. And then every day, I want you to call, in this case, 5, 3, 4 people, and with a singular purpose. Don't talk real estate, talk them, make their day better. Be interested in Karen's granddaughter. Be interested in how Karen is doing. Don't be interested in her husband. He hasn't played golf with me. Screw that guy. Be interested in everybody else besides him. It's a running joke because I always talk about he's a member of the coolest course around. So I'm reaching here. But seriously, spend time being interested in them. You'd be amazed how you feel at the end of the morning. You're like, that was fun. And they're going to work with the people they trust. People like and trust people they care about them and that really care about that you care about. If you care about them, they will respond. That's where your referrals come from. I've given you also 3 questions to ask when you get into real estate questions. I am not an advocate for, hey, who's the next person you know that wants to buy or sell real estate? And I have a used car for only $75,000 that you're going to love too. Don't worry about the tires. We can replace those. Don't be a used car salesman. Be a friend. Be in relationship with them. Let them know that you're here. Be the expert in the area. That's what those 40 emails come out every month or every week. Those show that you're an expert. You're curating the information. You don't have to think about it. It shows up on Google. It's alerted to you. You're welcome, Kimberly. It's my pleasure. This is where business lives. Any agents over 3 years in business, they will attest to you that most, if not all of their business comes from their database or an incredibly expensive ad spend of some type or another. Less than 5% are from prospecting phone calls. The truth is, and every one of you ask yourself this, you don't have to tell it, raise your hand, you don't have to say anything. How many people here have spoken to 10 or 20 people a day, knew that they've never met in a prospecting format, 50 to 100 people a week, 45 weeks a year? Either on the phone or sitting in an open house, which I'm a huge advocate for, where you have spoken to 100 people a week that are not in relationship with you currently. That's prospecting. You can close 25 transactions doing that. I was on the phone for 3 hours a day, realistically 4 days a week, 48 weeks a year. I did that for 3 years straight, calling for sale by owners, expires, withdrawals. That was and it was mainly for sale by owners. That was my business, and I closed a lot of sales. That's how I got the start. Did I like it? Absolutely not. Okay. This I enjoy because these are people I'm in relationship with, and they'll be in relationship with you at a very, very high level. Denise, it's my pleasure. By the way, a lot of you will get tagged. Tag a friend when you're tagged in the, I'm going to tag the people that are on the call. Tag a friend in there as well. And hold on, Mike. And then in the GPS Global Partners Facebook page, tag them and say, you probably want to watch this. This was a great class. Let's share this amongst our people with as many people as we possibly can. Remember, you can pull the YouTube link out. It's yours. It's YouTube. It's for everybody. But I'm putting it up there for us. Tag somebody in there if you would. And if you like the content of this class, tag a lot of people in there, because this is where our business is going to be. This is long-term sustainable, and your only real job is to commit about an hour a month of doing bullshit work, excuse my expression, and then commit about an hour a day of making other people feel better and letting them know that you care. In a nutshell, that's it. That's the job of database. Letting them know that they're important and that you care about them. Thank you all very much for listening. What is your approach to expireds? That's a side question. So let me turn off the recordings because we're done.